Hi, hello, hello. Oh
Good
my goodness.
evening. So I
Let me
just have
just
to. I,
say,
I I kept meaning to say something, but I keep forgetting. So I'm gonna say it
yeah,
now. Uh, I love the picture in our intro that you like. You couldn't find any really the one with us and Patricia Mason. We all look like
like we're kids. Yeah,
we're
I
completely
couldn't
like
find
cracked
one.
out. It's like oh.
I couldn't find one of her with us. The last one that I have is like we're in separate places. Like the last couple times she's been with us
You
have
should
been.
find one of the ones of like one of the PJ party ones, one with like the onesie parties.
I did what I could. Okay, okay. My goodness, so picky. I thought it was like hey girl, I see you, that kind of thing. Um, Welcome to Let's Have a Fifi. If you're on the podcast, you have no idea what we're talking about, but the fancy
It's
noise that
fine.
you heard is our new intro that I created, but obviously isn't good enough for Freddy Prinze Charming.
I mean, it's fine, I guess.
I my My biggest holdup was I thought you were gonna complain that it was, like, early in your transition.
No, I think it's funny because we're all just like
It was what I could find. Anyway, welcome to Let's Have a Fifi. This is season 11, episode 3. 10 years of being your Wednesday night conversation. Welcome to Let's Have a Fifi. Happy November. I
oh
am
god.
Felicia Fifi Minor, and that is Freddie Prince Charming and Dazzling Purple or
It's
Purple
like a it's like a
Iridescent.
holographic purple. You can't tell the mesh shirt is actually kind of serious. You can kind of see. It's like a purpley blue like holographic. It's kind of fun. And
Oh.
I know like you can't really tell, but I did an amazing job blocking out my eyebrows tonight.
Oh. Are we wearing similar colors? God
I don't know. I
damn it.
can't. What color is what color is your fuck?
Oh my god. Why can't we do
Is your
anything?
are your eyes like purple and bluey? Like,
Yes, this is like a purple right here, and this is like blue.
god damn it.
I swear we don't even talk to each other.
We don't. We don't. We literally we don't. We do, and my vest is like it's like a reddish, like purple, like
No.
iridescent.
Oh my god.
Yeah. God damn it. This is how you know you've been working together for a really long
Oh
time.
no. Hello, Marissa. Not I can't even say that we planned this. I can't.
No. No. Fuck.
Some of our best outfits together though are not even
We're
planned.
unplanned.
So,
This is true.
mhm.
This is
I
true.
can't.
I'm not mad at my eyes tonight. Like
They
I
look
think I did it
good.
I think I did okay. Like
I
I'm
mean, I know people in the industry that have been doing this longer that don't even. Well,
if y'all
anyhow.
need tutorials, just let me know.
Oh, people keep asking me for tutorials. I'm like, I do this for myself.
Mm.
Let's see. You can get exclusive content, like maybe I'll do a makeup tutorial on Patreon if I can get my life together. If I can get my family to leave me alone for long enough to do one.
That's what editing
Um,
is for.
just little random babies coming in. Um, you can get exclusive content from us on Patreon. Oh, press the wrong button. Patreon.com/slash Let's Have a Fifi. We want to thank our
I've been putting
patrons.
out content. Thank you very much.
I trailed behind you and kind of just followed suit. So, but what I did is we released some photos. We're not releasing them as fast on Facebook and all those others, but we released some photos on Patreon, and I actually wrote what the meaning of our photos was. So, and I think today was the day that I posted the one of me, and I wrote a little bit about myself. So, I'm not writing that again on social media. I'm just gonna probably stick the picture up and say, "Here I am," that kind of thing. Because I think that we are getting to a point where you do need the exclusive content on Patreon, and you need to, you know, you only get it when you're in there. Okay, so we'd like to thank our Patreon supporters: Allison, Brandon, D, Drake Jensen, Casey Starr, Carrie and Corey, Kim, Joan, Jody, Leanne, Nicole, Sassy, Shannon, Shelley, and Sky. A special thanks to Sky and Drake Jensen for taking a deeper plunge on Patreon. Oh, yes. hmm I was, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm. Special thanks to Success Boutique. Huh? It's probably the reason why we match, though we
It
don't
could.
purchase this together either. Anyway, LC Designs and Wigs of a Kind for supporting us. You can support us. You can drop some money in the bucket and call it a day. Call us a charity if you must. At PayPal,
I'm not too proud. I can be a charity case. I'm fine with that.
I mean, drop some ducats in the bucket. You can also text LHAF to 602-730-7379 to get updates about the show and a text from me just randomly throughout the night. You're welcome. That's what you wanted, right? Anyway, speaking of putting money in the ducats, you can, if you're on Facebook, share some stars. Once you buy a star, we get a portion of that. And I think last episode we had about 700 stars that were purchased. I know
Ooh.
DJ Image was one. I think Laura was one. Oh, I knew I was going to forget. I should have put it on the show sheet. And there was another one. But thank you for the stars. If you are, um, if you are in the mood for giving, 'tis the season. Let's do it. Let's do it. So you are painted.
Oh, thank you. I am not mad about my face tonight. I'm not and I was moving very slowly and it was very hard to after all the prosthetics and stuff over the last few weeks, it was hard to kind of get into the groove for tonight. But I honestly I am not mad at my face this evening.
And you shouldn't be at all. At all. How was your
How was
weekend?
I mean, we did one of the things this weekend together. On Friday
And
night,
we did
Felicia and
not dress
I
alike then. I promise.
no, we did not. Felicia and I both participated in the Cog Match Spooktacular with Madame
So fun.
Askew and the Grand Arbiter. It's always such a great time because it always just goes off the rails.
hmm
It always starts out fine.
Fine.
And mind you,
hmm
none of us were drinking during this. Okay, I think I had a cider thing with it,
Wait,
but
none of us were
I
drinking?
don't think any of us were drinking. That was all. I think we were all pretty much sober.
I wasn't drinking as if I was drinking. Drinking.
It's but it always just ends up just going completely off the rails. But it's always such a damn good time. I know that we drive the Grand Arbiter absolutely batshit crazy because he has to put up with our shenanigans because he's the one that runs the game. Meanwhile, the rest of us are just running amok. So it's fantastic. It's so much
Just
fun, and
imagine Snatch Game, but we take it way,
it
way
yeah,
off course.
it's
Like
fantastic.
this time, I think I started the funk because I started with Pussycats, and Pussycats became the theme.
Yeah,
That's
it doesn't
all
matter
I'll
what the
say.
question was. The answer always had to do with cats,
Um,
whether it actually did or not. Yeah, it
I
was
tried to go away from it, but then uh,
didn't happen. No,
other panelists started using
it just
my theme, and
went
then
off the fucking rails. It just went sideways, but it was amazing. It's such a
it was
fucking
a
good
good laugh.
time.
It was very good.
Saturday was super fun. I got to participate in the drag story hour for young adults that was happening at the AZ Typo trunk or treat that was happening at Brick Road Coffee. They actually had a far better turnout than they anticipated. Like, there were a lot of people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there were a lot of trick-or-treaters that showed up. There are quite a few people that came and set up to actually do the trunk or treat. Free Mom Hugs was there. A lot of the families from AZ Typo were there. And it was good. It was a good time. Brick Road Coffee, the folks at Brick Road Coffee are always so great to work with. If you haven't gone to Brick Road Coffee yet, you need to go support it. It's a queer-owned business. The
Yes,
guys are
definitely.
amazing. It's down on Tempe, It's off of Rural in the 60. It's
Yes.
just a great little place to go hang out. They have like a little library of queer books that you can like borrow a book off of it. I got to meet. I read a book called At Least He's Dead,
Mhm.
which is like a little like a knew an old lady who swallowed a fly, but it was a zombie who like ate the head of a statue and then did all these things to try and fix it.
Oh, wow.
But it's written by an author named Lee Call, and Lee was actually there and got to see me read their book. And they were excited because I actually sang the whole damn
Wow.
thing, but they were there. Yeah, our daughter bought one of the other books that they had there and got it signed, and it was great. It was a really, really, really good
You know I
time.
love an autographed book, so
Right.
we
I've
should
had
have
so
them
much.
on the show.
Ooh, good call.
Mhm.
I will message them. I've had so much latex on my face. I needed a break from all of it. And so like
Okay,
Halloween.
talk about he's painted tonight. He was doing it for the trunk or treat. No letdown whatsoever with that prosthetic at all. At all. But
I'm trying to get better at like the prosthetics. I'm trying to do better with like, because I'm like, there are fun ways to like add certain things. Like I'm getting better. And I have remind me to tell you about my idea for next Halloween. I'm keeping it under wraps, but I'm gonna tell you about it because it's fucking brilliant. So remind me after the show.
okay.
Um but yeah, my face was all like "Ugh," my face was so angry with me. So we literally didn't do anything on Monday. We went to Costco, which was fucking empty. Always go to Costco on Halloween because there's
On
nobody
Halloween.
there. It's
Was the candy on sale?
fantastic. Not yet. I don't think. I don't know. But then we came home, we got into PJs and watched Poltergeist. I'm trying to get ready for Houston. I leave Sunday night, and I'm not moving to Houston. Not moving to
Oh, you're
Houston.
okay. I can
Going next week to help a
erase
friend
I
out with a
can erase
pageant. Not
I'll
moving.
erase the memo this time. I'm so
Thank you.
sorry.
Thank you.
So sorry.
And my partner and I have decided that our 40s is the best time to become Disney people. We have now become those people. We are taking the kids on Christmas. So, because one of our kids, his birthday is actually on December 25th.
Mhm.
So we're leaving that Friday. So,
Mm.
and December 24th. So Christmas Eve will be at California Adventure. Christmas Day will be at Disneyland. We're making them all do the whole Disney bounding thing. So everybody's picked characters. So we're gonna be dressing up with that. And
Oh,
we're getting matching lounge fly bags to match everybody's outfits because we've now become those people.
and you have a Cricut, so you probably could make Cricut type shirts before you leave.
Yeah, there's that too. We just have to figure out how to work the Cricut. We have a little bit of time, so we can figure that out. But I highly recommend if y'all ever like do like Disney trips or anything like that, or anything really, book through Costco Travel if you are a Costco member. Because both this time and then when we went on my birthday last year, we got
Oh,
killer
yeah?
deals through Costco. Like, it's
Oh.
costing I mean, it's for 5 of us to go and hit both parks up, it's really, really, really inexpensive. Plus, what, 3 Friday, Saturday, Sunday, plus 3 nights at a hotel? Like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, we're getting a really killer deal, so I highly recommend booking through Costco Travel. Eddie, I know, Disney Christmas is gonna be so awesome. It's going to be packed. It's going to be crazy. but I also know that like Disneyland goes all out for Christmas. Like they do like fake
They
snow
do.
in the like all the things. And it's just going to be so much fun. We're going to be so tired, but it's going to be
It'll be
just
so worth it.
it will. It will. I mean, I'm excited, and I think we're slowly rubbing off on the kids. Which reminds me, honey, try to talk to them about the magic bands. Get them the big magic bands. Yeah, that's you're supposed to do that right now. Go do that right now. Okay. Okay, go ahead. How was your weekend?
Are you? Mm.
We're not talking about anything inappropriate, so you can still watch the show like on
uh oh, Heather's gonna be there too.
Oh, see? That's awesome. And they went through Costco Travel. Isn't it a fantastic deal? Like
Oh,
so
it's the first time they're going.
wow, you're going to have a blast. Be prepared. It's going to be crazy. It will be nuts, but it's
Don't lose
going
your
to be
children.
fantastic. Like it'll be so memorable, but just be prepared for the craziness that is going to happen. Like just go with that mindset and just,
Just
breathe
know
through
that
it.
people don't mean it.
It's gonna be there's gonna be lots of lines. I highly recommend looking into what is it, the Genie
The
app, the
Genie
Disney
Pass?
Genie app. Yeah, the whatever that, the Magic Band Plus. Those
Mhm.
things, look into those things as well. And yes, you should totally Disney bound if you can think about it, if you can
It's
figure that out
definitely
between the
worth it as a person that has been to Disneyland many times. It is totally worth it to do anything you can to skip the lines or be first priority because let me tell you, I've gone with people that have not done any of the passes, but I have the pass
Mm,
and I end up waiting for them.
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay,
And they've got the Disney resorts and all the Disney parks and stuff have now introduced a thing called the Magic Bands. They're Magic Band Plus. And it's actually kind of cool because it'll actually that's your all your ticket information is stored on this little almost like a little smartwatch kind of thing. So
uh-huh.
you don't have to like have your phone or anything out. You just beep it through the thing. You can store gift cards on there, I think. It interacts with different stuff around the different parks. If you're staying at a
Oh wow,
Disneyland
that's
resort,
sickening.
I know. If you're staying at the Disneyland Resort, which we're not, but if you were staying at the Disneyland Resort, you can actually unlock your door using the Magic Band. Like, there's all sorts of cool things that are out now. And look into them because they'll all make your trips much more interesting, better. There's stuff that you can do, go bounty hunting, and the Star Wars experience with the Magic Band Plus. Like, there's all sorts of cool shit you could do. So
I've heard about
I'm
that.
I'm
Yeah.
stupid excited. It's ridiculous. I'm probably more excited than the kids are, but it's fine. We just have to figure out all the
We're
outfits for the
just
Disney
we're just
bounding.
grown kids. We're just grown kids. That's all.
I mean, I'm like, you're in your 40s, you have a more disposable income and shit. So, which this,
I don't. I
okay,
don't.
well, you more disposable income than one does in their 20s usually.
I'm feeling quite the opposite at the moment. But Saturday morning I worked. Not a
Ew.
boo. It wasn't that bad. It was actually at an air park where like students take a flight with a pilot for the first time.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool.
yeah, and so I didn't know that there were houses that shared taxiways and have their own hangars in the back. That was pretty fun.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh, but that was that. And then on Monday evening, we got kind of tired out by the trunk or treatedness of the season. And actually, I don't know how Scott did this, but convinced Lily to hand out candy to other kids.
That's awesome.
So she was handing out candy instead of getting candy. Because I have
Oh,
little bit of a problem with her having a temper tantrum when she wants to
mm,
eat all of the candy.
mm.
Mhm.
One other thing
W
that we did, we actually took the kids on Friday. No, when did we do this?
A day in
Saturday,
the past.
Sunday? When the fuck? Sunday. Must have been Sunday. Sunday, we actually drove around and looked at like because the New Times put out a list of like all these cool houses that really go all out for Halloween and stuff. So we actually took a drive around and looked at like half a dozen houses that did cool shit for Halloween. Some of them are like crazy. They set up like their own little haunted houses in their backyards and shit. Nuts, but really cool. Really
Yes.
cool.
I love
So
that. Go
me
keep
talking about being like super excited to do shit in my 40s and feeling like I have more disposable income and stuff than I did in my 20s. That actually is it makes it's kind of on my mind based on the tip that I'm going to be talking about this evening. And this is something that
mm,
actually Felicia's suggested that we talk about a few times, but it's I've always had other things that we haven't gotten around to it. So tonight I'm getting around to it. So
mhm.
tonight on tonight's tip, we are going to be talking about ageism and aging in the LGBTQ plus community. Now,
We're not gonna
here's
be
the thing.
dancing around in our 20s in short shorts the whole time?
No, I could do that in my 40s. Have you seen my picture? Um,
Uh,
just did you see
no.
the picture I posted from the last Three Fates show?
No.
Oh,
Mm.
you
Uh,
go
oh,
look at
yes,
it
I
while I'm
did.
talking.
Yes, I did. Yes, I
Okay, I
did.
was gonna
Yes, I
say.
did.
So
Uh-huh.
no one likes getting older. You know, it's like as we get older, that our mortality becomes more of a thing. We suddenly realize that, oh God, we're inching closer to death. But I I'm gonna be honest. Like
Mm,
my 40s so far are my best decade yet. Like
mm.
when I think about all the shit that I went through in my 20s and my 30s, like,
Oh.
right? I'm not mad about my 40s, and a lot of it there's a lot of factors that go into it. It's living authentically, it's having a supportive partner, having a great little family unit. There's all these things that go into it, but I'm not mad about my 40s. I've got less drama happening in my 40s than I ever did happening in any other decade. And I guess, I mean, for me personally, I guess I don't really feel my age either. Like,
Mhm.
part of that is when when you start medically transitioning, it kind of hits a reset button. So in my head, I'm like a good decade younger than I actually am. Like, I, I mean, reality is I'm middle aged. I'm in my mid 40s. I am middle
So,
aged.
I
Like that's
I sometimes I watch the episodes, old episodes of us, and in one of the episodes I watched recently, you're talking about, that you're in your early 30s and how old you felt. And so when you transition, um, is it more of like a mental clock, or does the body go
it.
through a resurgence?
No, I think it's more of a mental thing because if it was an episode where it was my early 30s and I'm talking about how old I felt, I wouldn't have started transitioning yet because I didn't start
Uh-huh.
transitioning until I was 35.
Mhm.
And I think based on what was going on in my life in my early 30s,
You're correct. Mhm.
I between being in an extraordinarily abusive relationship and being depressed and dealing with all sorts of other issues, like I know I felt I know I didn't feel great, and I'm sure I probably felt old because I was dealing with stuff that people don't generally have to or want to deal with. Like
Mhm.
it was taking a toll for sure. Um, but it's amazing what being in healthy relationships, living authentically, things like that can do for one's mental health. And when
Mhm.
it comes to transitioning, it's because it's like when you medically transition, you basically go through a second puberty, right? So it's almost like between your body and your mind, it's like, oh, I'm going through puberty again. So it's like
Mhm.
this, it's a weird mindset. You know what age you are, you know how old you are, but it definitely feels it definitely makes you feel younger, at least for me it did.
Mhm.
I think talking to folks that have transitioned a little bit later in life, not in their 20s, I think that's fairly common for most of us, is that we have a slightly different. We feel younger than we are because of this little reset that happened and had us going through at second puberty basically. Um but so generally I don't feel like I'm middle-aged. I don't feel like I'm in my mid 40s. I don't feel like, I mean, let's be real. I don't feel like half my life is done,
Mhm.
you know. But you know when I when I do feel my age and when I do start feeling old is when I see people posting about how they're so old because they're turning 25.
Mhm.
That they feel ancient because this year is their 5-year high school reunion.
Oh,
And I
this
mean,
would have been my 20th.
this year would have been my 25th. I would have graduated from high school before a lot of these people were even born.
We did graduate high school from before any of these people were born.
Like
Most of
it
them.
the ones that are talking about how old they are. And I
Mhm.
know it seems silly and I know it may seem trivial and I know it may seem like not that I'm overreacting, but when I see that shit, I have to keep scrolling because honestly, it makes me angry. It pisses me the fuck off because I'm
Why?
like, okay, so you're 25 and you're over the hill. Awesome. That means I'm basically dead. It means I'm dust. And what do you do with dust? You sweep it up and you toss it out.
Also, but I also feel that our community creates this, like, I don't know, like, window of you need to come out by the time you're like 18,
Right.
right? And you need to have like been blackout drunk or had the best time of your life by the time you're 25. And you should at least be like somewhat partnered or partnered with many or doing something with your life and have a disposable income of about $30,000 so you can travel by the time
Not
you're
in this
30
economy.
to by the time you're 30 to 35.
30,000 maybe in like 1994.
But I'm saying like the unwritten thing that
Right.
has been created is that we're these sex crazed party goers and we need to fit our life in under 30, and by the time you're 35 you disappear, um, and you're I don't know. But in my instance, I don't know. I don't really feel my age, and I'm not even 40 yet, but I I have never had the crisis in which people are having when, as you said, excuse me, like when they turn 25. I never had that. I never said, "Oh my god, I'm going to be 25." I said, "Oh,
No,
I'm
I
going to be
didn't either.
21."
I
When I
wasn't. It
when
was
I
like,
hit
yeah,
30, I
whatever.
didn't go, "Oh my god." I did have another kind of crisis though. I had the crisis where I was like, "Is this where I wanted to be in life?" That kind of.
I think that's a little bit different though, because like I remember, being in my 30s and like I
Ah!
I wasn't constantly talking about, like, I wasn't posting about how old I was. Oh my god, I'm ancient. Oh my god. Like
Hi, Casey.
like yes, I felt old, but there was a reason why, and it wasn't because it wasn't it wasn't age, it was all the shit that I was dealing with that people shouldn't be dealing with. And but like I do remember,
Well,
in my 30s, especially my early 30s, especially before I started transitioning, kind of looking at things and going, God, this isn't exactly where I thought I was gonna be at 30.
and just like the rest of society, we base our lives off of what the media has
Right, because you think you're
perpetuated
supposed to be
us to
married with
be.
children and you're supposed to have all of these things or whatever it is at 30 or,
Yeah.
by 30, and I'm like, I wasn't any of that, and my 30s were a fucking mess until basically 35,
Hmm.
you know? But and I remember as I was kind of hitting, like, my late 20s, early 30s, I remember, like, thinking to myself and thinking back at high school and thinking, "Oh my god, I'm, like, I'm the same age as some of my teachers were back then.
Mhm.
Like
I
it,
think to
it
myself that some of the people that I idolize, like celebrities, I'm the same age as they were when I saw them on TV. I
right.
often I often have that thought.
Yeah, that's that kind of that yeah, that but it's not like
But it doesn't
what makes
bother
me
me.
no, it doesn't bother me. It's just like, "Oh my god." Or when I see something like Alicia Silverstone being like playing somebody's mom, I'm like, "Oh fuck. When the hell did that happen? God damn it. What the hell? No, 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 no."
Or
Like
you see people that have been, like, your favorite stars and they say, "Oh, I'm turning 60 this year," and you're like, "What?
it's like,
No, no, no. No,
"No,
I don't
that's
remember
not
this."
accurate." But it's like it's hard and like I said, it may seem a little I don't know, it may seem like I'm overreacting or whatever, but that shit does make me mad because it's and ageism within the LGBTQ plus, especially within the gay community, especially within the
Mhm.
gay community, is so prevalent. It's like in order to be relevant, you have to be young and hung, or and you have to
Well,
be
I'm none
like
of those
young,
things.
and you either have to be like muscly or a twink. You can't be in between. You have to be like you have to work out and be like this totally like ripped dude, or you just have to be this like slender feminine twink, and that's whatever. And and
Hashtag I like
once
belly
you
rub.
hit right, and once you hit 25, you're not relevant unless you want to be a daddy, and even then you have to be conventionally hot. If you're not
Oh,
conventionally hot, then you don't count.
Eddie Omega, I did not even think about that. That plays a
I'm
huge
talking about
role.
that actually.
Yeah.
I That's actually something that I'm talking about. And the reason that ageism is such a fucking shame in this community is because when you put things in perspective, it wasn't that long ago when, making it to 30 was like playing the floor is lava with HIV and AIDS.
Mhm.
How many people didn't make it to 30, didn't make it to 25 because
Mhm.
of the AIDS crisis? You
Mhm.
know? And let's not forget about the suicide rates among LGBTQ plus youth, particularly the trans youth and adults for that matter. Like, so you have these people that are like, "Oh my god, I'm ancient. I'm so old. I'm turning 25." And it's like, "You know what? You seem to be doing pretty damn good for what you've got
Mhm.
right now. You have access to the internet, you have a smartphone, you're able to take your videos, post them on TikTok, post them on OnlyFans, do whatever it is that you're doing, which is great, but there
I
are people that didn't
remember
make
when you had
it
to
to
record
25.
your videos and then figure out how to get them on the computer. Then, as soon as you edited it, because it took like days, and then you had to figure out how to get it on the computer because YouTube wasn't a thing and send it to your friends.
Right. Like, I've survived multiple suicide attempts.
Mm,
One of them was before I was 25.
mm,
And if it had gone the way that I wanted it to go, I wouldn't have made it to 25. I don't think I would have made it to 24. I think I was 23 the
mm.
last time. And like people don't I don't know. I people need to really think about shit before they speak or before they post things because all
But
your
I also,
23-year-old friends might think that 25 is really fucking old and decrepit, but a lot of us are a lot older than that. And
mhm.
I don't know about y'all, but our lives are a fuck ton better and more interesting than they were at 25.
So put things in perspective. We talk about this. We talked about it recently at Sex Trivia. We are one in a million. And I know that sounds really like a cliche thing, but statistically, uh, we are the ones that won the battle.
Yeah.
And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, see us at Six Trivia on November 18th. Um, but for me, I had to put that into perspective for myself because I was thinking, all the thoughts, all the things, like, I don't need to be here. This could be worse. This could be better, blah, blah. From time to time, I still think that way. But then I remind myself, I was the one that made it. And there's purpose in all of our lives. Um, in this whole ageism versus the LGBTQ community, which I feel is happening every day, all day. Because even when you go to the club and you're not small, you're not fit, you're not this, you're not that. Uh, and bears will tell you all the time that they don't fit. And even within the bear community, there's, mm,
Right.
um, but any community, um, that it could be a challenge for everyone. What when you started talking about this, I thought of the old gays, and never. And for those that don't know, the old gays are on YouTube. They're on everything now. But when I first saw them, they were on YouTube, and now they're really big on TikTok. But the old gays kind of said, you know what, fuck it. We're gonna do the same thing that the kids are doing, or we're gonna do something different. We're gonna talk about our love lives. We're gonna talk about the first time we did stuff. They're doing it all, and they're not letting us as a society tell them what to do,
Mhm.
and they're not letting their age get in the way. Um, and it's great to see smiles on their faces and them tell the truth and be authentic. Um, if you have not watched their videos, it's kind of like what I think I will end up being like. I
Prob
think
probably.
I will
Uh,
probably end up being one of those people
we're gonna be
that is.
85 and still doing this, but by that time, I will just be like holograms in people's living rooms. Like that's not, But
But
I think another problem is that, and this is something that we've talked about too, is that these kids, and I'm gonna call them kids because they're young enough for me to have birthed them, you know,
Mhm,
and that are in their
you're
early
good.
20s, they honestly have no damn clue about the things that people have gone through for them to be able to live authentically. Like when,
Mhm,
we're watching a TV show or something and it was, an older, when I say older, I mean like maybe early 2000s or whatever. And, someone mentions the fact that, they can't get married. And like our kids are like, wait, what? That wasn't always a thing? No, no, it's not.
mm,
Marriage equality is still a very new thing in this country. Extraordinarily new thing in this country. Like, but people take it for
mm,
granted. People take all of everything and that even people my age, like things that we have done to pave the way so that these kids can live authentically, can be themselves on fucking TikTok, can have OnlyFans, can be open about having OnlyFans, can do all this shit. They weren't even around when we were busy trying to vote people out of office. They weren't around when we were lobbying for marriage equality. They weren't around when we were
mm,
trying to get, you know, things voted on that would give us any kind of rights. And
mhm.
they just it's like, "Whatever. I'm still 25, and oh my god, I'm just ancient, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself now. I'm just gonna go get wasted at the club." Okay, well, you go with your bad self. Meanwhile, I'm gonna take my walker, and I'm gonna take my more disposable income, and I'm gonna go to fucking Disneyland, bitches.
Ah, oh my goodness. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with getting older. Though this morning some parts of me hurt for no reason. So,
I mean, there is
but
that. The fact that it takes me 10 minutes to get up off the couch or out of bed because, my lower back is hurt for weeks for no
or
reason,
you
like,
or
hmm,
you're trying to make the decision: is it easier to fall on the floor
right.
roll out
Or,
of his
you realize
bed.
that you have to take all these medications so you don't end up in, like, weird random anaphylaxis or whatever, 'cause, you're not allergic to anything, but you have to take allergy meds, or you have you go and get your blood work done and your doctor's like, your cholesterol's a little bit high, or you should come back in and check this so we make sure there's nothing wrong with your thyroid or whatever, and all these
Oh,
things,
I've
and you're
been
like,
experienced that since
"What
my
the
early 20s. I was
fuck?"
probably old before I got here. Um, yeah. I do say that ageism is something to look out for. Um, and it also is documented and statistically, um, ageism is in the workplace, and most affects those that identify as women.
Mhm.
Uh,
Oh, for sure. If you're an older woman, you can't do shit. If you're an older
nope.
man, you're seasoned
Yeah,
and you're
you're more
experienced.
experienced. Yeah, you can do the job.
Older women,
Wow.
you should probably just retire, go home and play with
My
the
goodness.
grandkids.
But before we move on to the next segment, I have a question that I wanted to ask everyone. So the title for me, it's like right here, but it may be like right down here, whatever. But
Yeah, Felicia told me what she named this episode, and I'm like, okay.
I just come up with random names for the
Has
episode.
nothing to do with anything, but yeah, fine.
So my question is, what over the years, what have been your dirty little secrets, and what have you done about them? Or if your dirty little secret is your age, tell us why.
Ooh, that's a
Because
good one. Have you lied or have you been lying about your age?
okay, so story time. Um, in my early 20s, there was a young man that this is like early before they had dating apps on your phone. But we used to date online, and this gentleman had, like 29 was his age. I was like 20, so I was like, well, okay. Turns out when we get there that he's not 29, and the pictures that I saw online were not the same person that was sitting at the dinner table. I feel like some people have extended their age and lied to make people feel like to get something out of it, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. What is your dirty little secret? Or have you ever lied about your age? Hmm. You can put it in the comments. You can put it in the comments. But I have a feeling
Hmm.
that some people are just not going to answer, and that's fine. Hmm, that was my thing. So we're gonna move on to the news, and I will um read the comments the next time. So we're gonna move on to the news. Um, Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's husband, was recently attacked. What is the world getting itself into? And the suspect pled not guilty to attempted murder and other state charges. Um, in this, it in this, he has like this worn out public attorney that's trying to defend him, and you can tell he's like, I don't give a shit about this. Um, this man is 42 and attempted to attack Nancy Pelosi's husband, but was intending to find Nancy Pelosi herself at her
Oh, well, that's
home.
okay then. She's not
Okay,
guilty because he attacked the wrong person.
correct. And also, the conservative Republicans are saying that he was inspired, or he is a gay prostitute that tried to break into the home to get to Paul Pelosi. Hmm. Um,
Speaking about the
most
right
of my
wing, Donald Trump praises Kanye West once again and fails, of course, to condemn him for hateful anti-Semitic outbursts. But why would he when he has done the same sort of shit for years now? He's not going to condemn
uh,
someone after he's all said all sorts of xenophobic bullshit.
yeah.
Like he's
Speaking of bullshit, Kanye fans created a GoFundMe, and they've created several GoFundMes to return the rapper's money to return him back to billionaire status. Not
what
a
the fuck is
joke.
wrong with people?
We don't have money in general, but you're going to give it to a multimillionaire to bring him back into $1 billion
What the
status.
fuck is wrong? What eggs are fucking $5 at Fry's for a dozen, and people are giving Kanye West fucking money? Fuck that shit.
Oh my God. I just was like, what? Is this real? It's real. I can send you all the headlines. I I started linking them in our document because I thought if I start posting these in here, Freddie's not gonna believe me. And so they're real, like legitimate sources and everything.
I hate
So
people. This is why I hate people. Oh, look,
oh,
we have a
speaking of hate people, we got a troll.
spam. That's fantastic.
Wow.
Oh, yay. Thank you. If anybody needs to find love, if you're on YouTube, this seems totally legit right here. We've got a spammer that's posting links on finding your love here.
Oh
Looks totally legit.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Block user.
Wow. Cool. Thanks.
Block user. Block user.
Uh, the gunman who killed 17 people at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School is scheduled to be sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Yes. And also there's people that are um the families of course are in this weird grievance stage where they're enraged still that their family members are not here today and yet relieved that justice has been served for their family members. And I can't imagine what that feels like, but yeah, that
Uh,
that SOB. Oh, I meant to open this earlier.
I guess there's the jury voted 9-3 for the death penalty, but they have to have a unanimous vote for it to actually go through.
I don't understand
Fucking
why. Do we need to
I
send them some sandwiches, some brownies or something?
seriously. You know,
Is
at
this
least it's
thing?
something. And it sucks because it's like it's nothing. It's peanuts compared to what these families have lost. But at least like it's not a slap in the face and he's getting, a minimal sentence or fucking parole or some bullshit because our justice
Mm-hmm.
system isn't a justice system, it's just a system.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Say that again. Whew. Um,
Mhm.
in lighter news, this is a system too, but if you want to get away, um, here are some ways that you might be able to book a ticket and pay for it next year. Surging prices recently have set people back into not traveling via plane, maybe road tripping, maybe saying, oh, I'll do that another time. Um, More and more airlines are looking to partner with partners like companies that will let you buy now and pay later. So, like,
Mhm.
say you want to, like, take a little trumpet trip. You just say, okay, we're gonna, pay for a little bit. You put a little bit down, and off you go. And so, be on the lookout for that becoming more of a
So
constant
there are um some airlines and stuff where
conversation.
when you buy things and you buy tickets or whatever and you check out, a lot of them will let you use PayPal, and a lot of times you can actually do PayPal Pay in 4, which is not quite exactly the same as the things that they're talking about in this article, but it's still a way to be able to pay in installments and not have the one giant lump sum right away. So that's an option. Is if you're booking travel or whatever, and you're able to like check out using PayPal, that's an option. Another thing with Costco travel is Costco travel will actually let you make payments on things as well. So that's another tip. So this next interesting bit of news, I thought this was fascinating. This is something I didn't actually know. Did you know about this, Felicia?
No, that's why I put it on there.
So
I was like,
Julia
what?
Roberts, in a recent interview, actually revealed that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King paid for her parents' hospital bill when she was born. And the reason this happened to come about is Julia Roberts' parents
Like a theater.
owned an actor school, like an actor's
Yeah.
workshop type of thing. And Coretta Scott King actually asked if her kids could be enrolled in the school because this was, during segregation, and it was
Hmm.
hard to find things like that where you could actually have black and white kids mingling. And Julia Roberts' parents were like, "Yeah, sure, that's fine, whatever, we don't care." Eh,
Hmm.
like, no big fucking deal. And so they were actually her parents were friends with the Kings, which is just fascinating. And then, um, when, uh when Julia Roberts
Julia
was
Roberts.
born, uh, Dr. Martin Luther King and his wife paid the hospital bill. Like, how fucking cool is that shit? Like,
Hmm.
who can say that? Like, you could be like, "Yeah, my parents'
Yeah.
hospital bill
Hmm.
was paid by," like,
But
what?
also,
Like,
also thinking about Julia Roberts, she's like one of the friendliest celebrities. Very with it,
she's like
so to
the
speak.
woman version of, like, Paul Rudd. There's never
Yeah,
really been any scandals. She's a genuinely, like, nice person.
and she
You never
loves
hear
everybody pretty
Right.
much.
Like, you never hear anything bad about Julia Roberts, and, like, this kinda makes sense, like, if you look back on, like, her upbringing and things like, that makes
Hmm.
total sense. Like, she was raised to be a good person. See how easy it is, folks? If you raise your kids to be good fucking people, then you don't have to worry about them being canceled because they do dumb shit. Really simple. Don't be
Speaking of
assholes.
dumb shit, uh,
Yeah.
a judge restricts a far right group from carrying weapons, taking video at Arizona ballot drop boxes because this has been a problem in recent
Yep.
weeks, if not months,
Voter
where
intimidation.
people
Yay.
have voter intimidation and they show up out of the dark in some instances with guns or recording people and saying, who'd you vote for? That person's not going to win and yada, yada, yada. In the middle of the night? No, 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 no. I want security and that don't work for me
It's bullshit. I don't This
whatsoever.
fucking state is vote, 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 vote. Today was the last day to mail your ballot. So if you didn't mail your ballot and you have the mail-in ballot, make sure you take it and drop it off somewhere. We're actually going to be doing that tomorrow. But for fuck's sake, please fucking vote. Like, we cannot, we
Oh, I got to
cannot.
do mine. But I like
Mm,
to read through the book, so I probably won't have time. I'll probably have to go on election day. Um, but I try to avoid that because these people be
that's
crazy.
I yeah. Try. It's early voting is the way to go. It's the best way to avoid all the bullshit. Honestly, in unfortunate news, Takeoff, who is a member of the rap group Amigos, was fatally shot outside a private party in Houston over the weekend. Yeah.
We keep losing people this way. I don't, you know, gun control, is that a thing?
No, no, no,
Mm,
it's fine.
we're not having a problem at all.
No, there is no problem.
Speaking of problems, Kanye ran into a problem where he's not able to sell his shirts because the phrase "White Lives Matters" is trademarked by two black men, and they are blocking him from
That's
using it.
fantastic. I fucking love that.
Isn't that crazy? Freddy's a
That's fuck I
classic.
love that. I love it when, like, I it makes my little, like, my little heart happy when people do, like, little petty things like that to block assholes, like, just
Mhm.
trademark something simple, like, "Oh, sorry, you can't use that anymore."
I'm
Because
sorry.
not
I'm
trademarked, and
so
every time you try to
sorry.
use that, I'm gonna go ahead and sue you for copyright infringement, so
Oh, you're gonna need to pay me for that, and this is the
mhm,
price. I'm so sorry. Oh, you don't
mhm.
wanna pay that price? I'm so sorry.
That sucks. I'm sorry. Like, I love it when people do petty little things like that. That makes my heart so happy.
Why
I'm
didn't
like,
we think
"Ooh."
of that?
Right? Fuck.
Yeah.
David Archuleta is talking about stepping back from the Mormon church after he's decided to come out as queer. He's had 3 broken engagements with women. He's had suicidal thoughts. And he's now come out as queer and is questioning the Mormon church.
So I think
Duh.
he originally came out in 2021, but it was like I almost want to say like a tear paper, like he came out.
Right.
But now he's going on tour, so of course you have to put your business out there because people play blackmail games.
Mm.
Um, and so um, in People Magazine, he talks about this one incident from his former fiance, where he is being intimate but starts to have a panic attack. Um, and it's because authentically he's not living authentically um, the way he feels that he should be living his life. And so he just stepped back and realized that, I can't hide this anymore. And I need to really start questioning those that are around me and what I believe in. Because if you don't know, now you know. Uh, a lot of structured religion makes you live to these substandards and ways of life that are sometimes not fully authentic to everyone,
Shocker.
including those that are in the LGBTQ plus community, because and according to them, we don't exist, but in some of the readings I've read, we do exist. So that's where that all stems from. And as a person that grew up in the Catholic Church and feeling like what I feel is not real, and especially during, it's funny that we were talking about like marriage equality and making it a law and then not a law. Funny thing. Um, at the time when like I came out to my mother, I was trying to go back to the church, which in essence, I don't really go to church for God to tell me what my parameters in life are. I go for like the spirit. Hey, the spirituality. Um, and so that was my, I had a little bit of awakening. Like, do I really believe in this? So,
It's hard, you grow up a certain way. I I grew up with my dad making me go to church every
mhm.
Sunday. And I remember the first time, when I went back to visit him in Michigan, and he tried to get me up to go to church on a Sunday, and I was like, "No." And he
Mm-mm.
kinda looked at me, and I'm like, no, I'm not going." And it was interesting because that same day, so my stepmom is Indonesian. My stepmom is Muslim,
Oh,
and my father has made her go to church with him every fucking Sunday. She's Muslim, okay? She's fucking Muslim.
oh,
So, it never occurred to her that she could say no. And it was funny because that day, when I was like, "No, I don't wanna go to church. I'm good." I remember my dad looking at me like, "What?" And my stepmom looked at me and looked at my dad. and looked at me, and she was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna go either." And the look on my father's face, it never occurred to her that she could say no.
What?
And that day, my dad went to church by himself because I was like, "This is not my jam. I'm not going." And my Muslim stepmother, after must have been close to 30 years at this point, finally said, "No, I'm good."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. My father made my Muslim stepmother go to church with him every fucking Sunday.
Because it was the
Mind
Christian
you,
thing to
she's not the most
do.
stringent Muslim. Like she does pray, but she doesn't pray at all the prayer times throughout the day. And every once in a while she will chow down on some pork ribs. But so she's not the most stringent Muslim, but it she still does pray. She usually prays twice a day. You know, she does carry a copy of the Quran with her. Like she does practice. She doesn't cover her hair. She doesn't, she doesn't do anything like that, but she does follow a lot of the Muslim things, the Muslim teachings and the Muslim, whatever.
I'd like to say it's the spiritual guidance that's happening. So that's the thing about religion. It shouldn't be like this, like these are the parameters, this is what you're gonna look like,
Right.
this is what you're gonna say. It should be like, oh, here are the guidelines. We'd like for you to get into this holy place, but
That's
remain
for
spiritual.
for me, that's why I like, if I'm going to look at like certain religions, which isn't really a religion, like Buddhism is more of like a philosophy, and that's why I like it's a more of a theology. It's like, here are some guidelines. It
Mm-hmm.
would be great if you followed these guidelines. If you
Try to
slip,
get
we
down.
have some people that can help you maybe kind of get back on track. And like in Buddhism, it's not, this is something we can totally talk about at some point. But in Buddhism, it's not like oh, you fuck up, you're going to hell. It's, but then it's not, you can just repent and then everything's fine and you're going to heaven. That's not how that works. Buddhism, basically, you die, and it's when they talk about the Book of the Dead in ancient Egypt, you go back, you look at a mirror, all your life is reflected back at you. Same sort of concept. So they're going to look at everything and be like,
Mm,
okay, well, this was good, this was good, this was not so good right here. This was not,
yeah.
this was better, this not so good. So in the end, you still have to be punished. There's still ramifications and consequences for the dumb shit that you did. But then when all that's done, then you get to move on and either be reincarnated into something better, or so, like it's not just, whatever. It's just better. I don't know. Most of
I
these
know you want
organized
to.
religions, especially when it comes to Western religions, is just
I know you want to go to the end, but the last story was definitely for you.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. Well, god damn it. Swearing is really useful and it can make people laugh. It can help us deal with pain, road rage, and express joy. So, in recent studies, cussing is a sign of intelligence, so they say. And it helps release, um, is it the endorphins? Is it
Yeah.
whatever? Um, and swearing is not as vulgar as it seems, and it can produce an emotional arousal. Um, and so, in this recent study, it talks about all these things, like, like people get all upset, and then when they come down from it, they're like in a better place. And cussing helps aid that along the way. So
Well,
I
think
thought,
about it. If you stub your toe on the corner of a couch, you're not going to be like, "Oh
oh
gosh, darn
goodness.
it. Oh, silly me." If you're anything like me, you're like, "Fuck ah, fuck," and then you feel better
Mhm.
after you cuss out the table that you just stubbed your toe on
That has
because it
no
was its fault.
recollection of it was just doing its job. Anyhow,
What have we got coming up? Okay, so I'm out of
you're
town all
moving to
next week.
Houston.
Right. I leave Sunday night for Houston. I will be back sometime on the 12th, late, very late.
Lord
But I'm gonna
Jesus.
be in Houston. I'm gonna be helping Randy Wild as he competes for Mr. Gay US of A at large. I'm kind of
Whoop, whoop.
excited because I know there's gonna be a bunch of people there that I haven't seen in a while. So I'm excited to just kind of to see folks and get to be professional wrangler. which I don't know that they all realize what they're getting themselves into, but it's
What's
fine.
their interview process?
Mm.
Mm,
I
choices,
mean, Dahlia's been to nationals with me a few times, so she kind of has an idea.
but that's only one.
Mm, yeah,
Does
nobody else
Randy know
really.
what you're like at nationals?
He thinks he does.
Oh,
It's
okay.
fine. They'll find out soon enough. It'll be fine.
I hope he has everything done and in place so that there is no,
You better not show
yeah.
up with a dress that's not stoned. That's for damn sure.
Oh, I still tell her about that.
Mm.
On
What are you
the
wearing for
8th,
evening wear? This. No, really. What are you wearing? This. Really? Okay. Hey, does anybody have any stones that they have available to sell? Because fuck me.
I still have red stones from that. Because I said, fuck this. I paid for all of these.
Right.
I'm keeping them.
Um,
Tonight, I will be joining Dina Nina Martinez, comedian. We've had her on the show a couple of times before in our early days. And she invited me for election night for coverage in
nice.
Arizona. So I'm going to have to get my little book out because there's a lot of stuff happening in Arizona.
Mm,
Oh my God.
be fun.
And then on the 10th, I will be joining Drag Story Hour at the Glisten fundraiser in Phoenix at
Oh,
6 p.m.
nice. I'm really sad that I wasn't able to do that. I was like, damn, I totally could have, but yeah.
Uh, well, you'll be moving to Texas, so I'll be
Yes.
here taking that spot.
You'll be here taking
And
all
then
my gigs. Is that what you're doing?
I mean, you'll have better ones in Texas. On November
Mm.
13th, it's a Sunday, Magic at Stacy's at Melrose at 8 p.m. You can make reservations for as little as $5. And then on the 18th, we are back at Gracie's for Just the Tip Sex Trivia Night at 8 p.m.
So take note, that's a Friday, not our usual Saturday. That's a Friday.
Yes,
Friday.
yes. Ooh,
We do have some upcoming guests. So while I'm out, we've got Dina Nina Martinez and Michi Mirage. Who the fuck is Michi Mirage?
a local rapper.
Oh, whatever. People, I know who Dina is, don't know who the fuck Michi Mirage is, but they're going to be joining Felicia next Wednesday while I'm out of town.
Well, it's better than me talking to myself, I
This
think.
is true. November 16th, we have Sir Eric, Mr. Phoenix Leather 2020. He's going to be on. He's going to be talking to us about Wax-A-Bear and some of the other things that they have coming up. November 23rd, we've got Jack Rabid, who is an Austin drag king and on the board of Austin International Drag Festival. He's going to be joining us. I'm super excited. Jack is awesome. I love Jack to death.
Hmm.
And then on November 30th, we've got Dylan B. Dickerson White, who is Mr. Trans USA 2022. He's going to be joining us to talk about the system, talk about his reign, things he's got coming up, all sorts of fun things. So look at us having like shit situated this month. That's fantastic. Look at us. Yay. Big round of applause.
Freddie did most of it.
This is true. Look, I'm doing like a lot of things. Look at me. I'm like doing stuff on the Patreon. I'm doing stuff on the thing. I'm getting booking people. Look at that. Look at me doing things. Yeah. I'm gonna pass stuff in the back.
Well, have the kid watch the episode too when Eric is on.
Maybe, but probably also talking about things that they probably don't
Oh,
know
oh,
about.
we'll send you a snippet.
We'll clip it. We'll censor everything out. We'll redact all the things, so all you get is a 5-second clip of Eric going Wax-A-Bear, and then the rest of it is all like censored out.
Oh my God. Oh.
Oh, that's
We
great.
went about
Anyway,
10 minutes over, but thanks for sticking around. Thank you for joining your Wednesday night conversation. Nobody admitted to their dirty little secret or lying about their age, but I'm sure some people like to be in the inbox. So I may get
mm,
an inbox message that says,
mm,
"Girl, I did this." And
mm.
uh-huh, that does happen sometimes. But Thank you for joining your Wednesday night conversation. Thank you for watching live, and those that watch on the replay and on the podcast. We will see you next week for your Wednesday night
I won't, but Felicia
conversation.
will.
Okay, I will. We'll see you for your Wednesday night conversation. Good night.
Good night.